over in California, late last year, there was a shooting by two Muslim extremists, and this has come down to a major court battle after the fact because apparently one of them had an iPhone, and the iPhone has been locked by the person who owned it, which was one of the gunmen, and the gunman was killed in the process of their attack. And the government has come to Apple and says, hey, we want the access to this phone. Apple in the past has been willing to help law enforcement up until they had their latest operating systems. Right now it's sitting at OS 9. The previous version at OS 8, when it first came out, it stopped that ability so that Apple can't even get into the phone if it gets locked or whatever. So if you lock your phone and you die for whatever reason, and you don't have stuff in there that you don't want anybody to see, the chances are that nobody's going to see it at all, especially if they enter a random code into it, especially if you have it set up for delete all data after a certain number of tries. Minimum it's 10 tries. And Apple has been resisting the government's request to get into this phone because right now there is no software that Apple possesses or anybody really possesses to get into these phones after they've been locked. But the government is very insistent because of this wild goose chase that they're on. They think that if they get into the phone, they can get, out to the spider web, if it were, and get more information of who these people were associated with. I'm kind of on Apple's side on this. Actually, I'm on Apple's side on this. The fact is that they are resisting to unlock this for any reason because it comes down to privacy rights. Because if this is allowed to happen, then this software, and it's not just a one-time thing, they will be able to reuse the software anytime that the government says, hey, we need it just for this phone for this instance. And then once it's out in the wild, because if you've ever been on the internet, and you can find just about anything if you look hard enough, if this software exists one place, it's going to exist a lot of other places. Kind of your thoughts.
And in a open letter from Apple.com to its customers, it said they're shocked by the shooting, but when the FBI has requested data that is in our possession, this is Apple, we have provided it. Apple complies with valid subpoenas and search warrants, as we have in the San Bernardino case. We have also made Apple engineers available to advise the FBI, and we've offered our best ideas on numbers of investigative options at their disposal. And see, the problem I have with this is locks keep honest people honest, but once this genie's out of the bottle, first of all, I don't think that the FBI would be, like you said, I don't think the FBI would be the only ones who have it, and I don't trust the government. It's not that I'm fearful, I'm cautious because we're human beings.
Right.
And once the camel gets its nose in the tent kind of a thing, the rest of it follows. I don't think it'd be a one-time use, and I think it'd be really foolish. The amount of data that's available through that encryption is protecting is staggering these days.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They use a strong security that's on the phones, and I'm glad that they do, because this way everybody's rights are protected, everybody's privacy is protected. Oscar, your thoughts?
Well, much like blueberry cupcakes, it's a double-edged sword. Sure, it would be nice to get the assholes information and maybe prevent some future stuff, but an open door is an invitation, and if there's a way in, anyone can get in with the proper know-how. So no, I'm on Apple's side. I'm on Apple's side.
Yeah, Trump recently came out, that dickhead. He says, I 100% agree with the courts. He said on Fox and Friends that he's basically saying that he's agreeing with the courts to get Apple to force them to create this software. And Trump is wrong on so many things. What's one more thing?
I saw that he actually called for a boycott.
A boycott on Apple? Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No.
No.
To put this into perspective, there was another company, I don't even know if they're even around anymore. It was called BlackBerry. I know it's an old technology. They gave up the keys to the kingdom to several other countries already. When several years ago they said, "Hey, we need a backdoor into all your phones or whatever, so this way, if there's terrorist activity, or whatever, then they can say, all right, we can get in there." And they just said, "Oh yeah, sure, that's justified, sure, and pass it right out." Where is that company today? They're not doing that well, as last time I checked. Apple is still going strong. It's one of the best companies in the world, actually, and they're still holding their ground, and I'm glad that they are.
Honestly, though, I don't think that is, one of the reasons why BlackBerry is not doing so hot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the average consumer doesn't care.
I think you're right on that point.
Yeah. And I do actually think that BlackBerry is around. I think they make your president's phone, if I'm not mistaken.
They do make some. Yeah, they do make some higher end phones for some business use. Yeah, but I mean, it's not generally as widely seen around as much anymore. I don't think. I mean, most people I come across, it's either an Android or it's an iPhone. It's either one of the two. I rarely see Blackberries at all anymore.
That's true. So I'm calling it now. Within the next year, Blackberries are going to become the hipster phone.
Retro, huh?
Retro.
Yeah.
We had a comment from Dawkins Dog. He says, Blackberries are still around. They just lost the battle like Betamax did to VHS.
Yeah. And probably because of the same reasons, too.
Mm-hmm.
Pornography.
Have you ever tried to watch porn on a BlackBerry? It's not pretty.
Yeah. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It's not sensual at all.
No.
You have to have, like the ASCII porn, and when you go that route, there's no coming back.
Right. Once you get hooked on that ASCII porn, I don't know. Sometimes it just.
Yeah. Well, the benefit is that it leaves a lot to the imagination, and that can be nice sometimes. But
oh yeah.
It doesn't give you a lot to work on, though, so
No.
that's a problem.
Yeah, that can be a problem.
That's why I went back to Android.
There you go. Oh gosh. Dawkins Dog for the chat room says ASCII porn requires a lot of keystrokes.
It sure does, man. It sure does.